It was 2:07 a.m. when my phone rang. I was halfway around the world, jet-lagged, half awake, wearing a hotel robe that smelled like bleach and cheap cologne. At first, I thought it was a dream. Then I saw her name on the screen. My wife. For a split second, I smiled. Maybe she couldn't sleep either. Maybe she missed me. I swiped to answer. Her voice was ... calm. Too calm, she said. I sold the beach house. And like she was telling me she forgot to buy eggs, I'm with someone else. Please don't try to find me. I sat up straight. Maybe I misheard her. Wait, what? But she was already gone. Line dead. Just the dull hum of the hotel fridge kicking on. I stared at the phone. My hand was still holding it to my ear like the words might come back if I waited long enough. But they didn't? Sold the house? With someone else? Just like that, years of love, memories, shared mortgage payments, every quiet Sunday morning dash gone, snapped in half like a dry twig. The room felt suddenly too big. It's too cold. I could hear a taxi honking 8 floors below, some distant city life still moving forward. Meanwhile, I couldn't move at all. I checked the call log just to make sure it happened. There it was. 2 minutes. Incoming. Her name. Everything after that. Blur. My heartbeat was in my ears. My throat went dry. I remember walking to the minibar, grabbing one of those tiny, overpriced vodkas and just standing there, bottle in one hand, phone in the other, like some cracked open version of myself. I didn't cry. Not then. Shock doesn't leave room for tears. It just sits in your chest like ice water and all. I could think was, how long had she been planning this? Because that wasn't the voice of someone in crisis. That was the voice of someone freeing herself. And now, I was the one left behind, staring out at a foreign skyline, with nothing left but a phone call that felt like the end of a life I thought I was still living. If you asked me back then what happiness looked like, I would have said, a weathered blue beach house with white shutters and her smile in the doorway. That place wasn't just walls and wood, it was us. We bought it together. Scraped every spare cent for the down payment. Lived on ramen for months. I remember her calculating budgets on a crumpled yellow notepad while I Googled how to lay tile at 2 a.m. We did the work ourselves, not because we had to, but because we wanted to. I still see it. The first day we got the keys, we danced in the empty living room. No music. Just echo and joy. I remember the brushstrokes we made on the sunroom walls, that awful shade of seafoam green she insisted on that I ended up loving. I remember the first night we slept there on a mattress on the floor, windows open, listening to the tide roll in. She used to call it our forever place. The kind of home where we'd grow old, where she'd plant herbs in the windows, where we'd argue over which movie to watch on Friday nights, where we'd host barbecues, raise kids, maybe adopt a dog. We even talked about naming it Captain. Believed every bit of it, because when she looked at me in that house, it felt real, like the world had finally slowed down long enough for us to build something lasting. I have this one photo in my head, her barefoot, standing on the porch, holding 2 paintbrushes like swords, daring me to help her finish the fence before sunset. God, we were happy, or at least, I was. And maybe that's what makes this all so hard. She didn't just sell a house, she sold our beginning. She let go of the place we carved out of struggle, love, and hope, and no matter how much money hit her bank account, ... she can't buy that back. Looking back now, the signs were everywhere. I just didn't want to read them. There was this night, months before the call, we were sitting on the couch watching a movie. I can't even remember what it was, but I remember turning to say something to her, and she was just gone. Not physically, just not there. Blank stare. Eyes on her phone. Thumb scrolling through something more important than whatever we used to be. I asked, everything okay? She smiled that fake one-lip smile and said, yeah, just tired. She was always tired lately. Tired when I tried to talk about the future. Tired when I offered to cook. Tired when I reached for her. In In bed, her I love yous became less frequent, shorter, like she was trying to scale them back without me noticing. And stupid me. I noticed. Of course I did, but I convinced myself it was just a phase. People go through rough patches, right? Thought she's stressed. Work's been tough. Maybe I'm not being present enough. So I tried harder. Booked a weekend at the house. Bought her favorite wine. Made the playlist she loved for our drives. Down the coast, she stared out the window most of the trip. Didn't even sing along. There was even this one moment she left. Her phone unlocked on the kitchen counter while she was in the shower, and yeah, I hovered. I stared at the screen. Notifications from a name I didn't recognize. A guy. Friendly tone. Too friendly. I didn't open anything. I told myself I trusted her. Truth is, I didn't trust my gut, and maybe that's the hardest part of betrayal. When you realize you helped build the very lie that broke you, because I ignored the signs, I chose not to see, and now they won't stop playing in my head like some cruel highlight reel of all the ways I let her slip away right. In front of me, the morning after the call, I barely slept. My body was still, but my mind racing, looping, refusing to believe. I needed proof. Something to tell me this was all just a horrible misunderstanding. So I opened my laptop, fingers shaking. The login screen blurred as my eyes burned with exhaustion. And disbelief? First stop. Our shared email. There it was, a forwarded message. Final closing. Documents minus 3,840 Ocean View Drive. The address of our beach house. Our dream. I clicked the PDF. Legalese blurred into sharp pain. Buyer. Someone I'd never heard of. Sale price. Just under market value. Signature hers, not mine. She sold it without me. I stared at the screen until the edges started to dim. My chest was tight. My jaw clenched so hard I could hear it pop. I whispered, "She actually did it." I tried calling her. Straight to voicemail. Texted her. "Why? Please talk to me." No response. Just silence, thick and cruel. I went to the real estate site. There. It was sold banner. Slapped across the listing like a final insult. The photos were still up. Our porch swing. That ridiculous turquoise rug she loved. The bedroom we painted. Gone. All of it. Already someone else's? She hadn't just left me. She'd erased me. And the worst part, she made it look easy. Like I was just some phase she outgrew. Like none of it meant anything. I remember sitting there, hotel coffee going cold beside me, and thinking, how do you start over when the place you called home now belongs to strangers? There's no guidebook for that. No map, no warning, just an email. A digital death certificate for everything we built. And in that moment, I wasn't just heartbroken. I was homeless in a way that had nothing to do with walls. I don't know what hurt more, that she left, or that she didn't leave alone. The night after I confirmed the house was sold, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Not the paperwork, not the silence, but the tone of her voice during that call. She sounded relieved, not sad. Not sorry, relieved. And that kind of calm doesn't come from chaos. It comes from having a plan. That's when I started to look deeper. Pulled up our shared cloud drive. She forgot to log out. Buried in a photo folder I hadn't seen before, Colin. Screenshots, messages. A man's name first, just a username. Then a face. Smiling. Young. Not me. The messages were months old. Some flirtatious. One said, "When you're ready to walk away, I'll be here." And she replied, "Soon, I promise." Scrolled back. Dates, timestamps. Receipts, everything painted a clear picture. She didn't just fall for someone else. She planned a future with him while I was working late, saving for our life. Thinking we were okay? I thought about that one night, maybe 6 months before. We were out to dinner. She kept smiling at her phone, said it was work. I smiled back like a fool. Turns out, it wasn't her boss. It was him. And suddenly, all the missing puzzle pieces clicked together. The distance, the short answers. The weekend girls' trip that didn't add up. There was another, man. And I wasn't just replaced. I was phased out quietly, systematically, like a project. She was closing, and you know what broke me the most? Not the cheating, not the betrayal. It was realizing that she gave him the version of herself I used to know, laughing, affectionate, alive, and she left me with the shell. She thought I was broken, and for a while, I was, but not stupid, not defenseless. See? I've always been a little paranoid with money. Maybe it's how I grew up watching my father get blindsided in his divorce. So when we got married, I made sure to protect myself quietly. We had a joint account, but I had another private, in my name only. A separate investment portfolio, crypto mutual funds, a brokerage in another state. And when I got that promotion last year, I didn't tell her everything. She thought the bonus went toward house repairs. Truth is, I put it away, quietly, carefully, intentionally. I never imagined I'd need it, but God was glad it was there. So when she sold the house, our house, and probably thought she'd cleaned me out, I let her believe it, let her think I was. Stranded in a hotel room, with nothing but debt and heartbreak. Meanwhile, I was already meeting with a lawyer, already filing fraud reports, already sending notarized letters to the escrow company, and her biggest mistake. She left a digital trail the size of a freeway. I had copies of every shared document, screenshots of every suspicious transfer. She never thought I'd check, never thought I'd fight back. But I wasn't after revenge. I was after peace, control. A way to rebuild on my own terms, not as her victim, but as the man she underestimated, the man she never really knew. And let me tell you something, there is a strange, quiet power in being written off by someone, only to watch their face when they realize you weren't behind them, you were ahead the whole damn time. Starting over is quieter than you think. There's no dramatic music, it's no big speech, just silence and space. And finally, air in your lungs. Again, after everything's settled, after the paperwork, the legal mess, the financial counterpunch, I found myself standing in a small one-bedroom apartment, holding a mug that used to belong in our kitchen. No wedding photos, no designer pillows, just me. In the echo of peace, it wasn't easy the first few weeks. I'd still wake up reaching for her, still caught in that split second where memory hadn't caught up to reality. But little by little, life returned. I started walking more. Long walks. No destination. Sometimes with music. Sometimes with nothing but the sound of traffic and my own thoughts. I reconnected with old friends, had conversations that didn't circle back to her, signed up for therapy, and yeah, at first I didn't want to talk, but I did. And when I finally did, I realized the truth wasn't just about her betrayal. It was about all the ways I made myself small to keep our peace, all the ways I ignored my own needs just to be the good guy. I wasn't rebuilding the same version of me. I was building someone stronger, someone who understood that being left behind didn't mean you were less. It meant you were free, and freedom. It's lonely at first, but then it starts to feel clean, honest, like exhaling after holding your breath for way too long. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need closure from her. What I needed was this: a quiet room, my own name on the lease, and the courage to make this new chapter mine. It had been almost a year. New apartment, new routine, a version of peace I never thought I'd earn. Then it happened, eh? Tuesday midday coffee stop before a meeting. The place was packed, barista yelling out names. I was half scrolling, half daydreaming, and there she was, standing in line. Same eyes, same necklace I bought her for our 3rd anniversary. Her hair was different, but I'd have recognized her anywhere. She didn't see me at first, but when she did, you could see it in her face. That flicker of surprise. And something else? Regret? Shame? Maybe just discomfort? I nodded. Just a simple, calm acknowledgement. She looked like she wanted to say something, but she didn't. She looked down, picked up her coffee, and walked right past me. No hello, number. Apology. Not even a half-hearted excuse, and you know what? That was fine, because in that exact moment, I realized something powerful. I didn't need anything from her. No explanation, no closure, not even a sorry. I wasn't the broken man she left behind. I wasn't the backup plan she discarded. I was standing there, in a tailored jacket, healthy, steady, whole. She walked out. I stayed, finished my coffee, and as I watched her disappear into the crowd, I felt something unexpected. Not pain, not dearness. Relief. The kind of relief that comes when the ghost finally passes through you. You realize you survived the haunting. People always expect bitterness. Like if you've been betrayed, you must carry it like a badge. But here's the thing no one tells you. You can let go. You can't still remember. I remember everything. The lies, the silence, the man and the messages, the way she said, "We'll talk when you're back," then sold everything we built. I remember it all, but I'm not angry anymore. Why? Because anger keeps you tied to them, and I've finally learned how to walk without that weight. I don't hate her. I did. For a while, there were nights I imagined saying everything I never got too loud, cruel, final. But now, I just don't need to. What I've built since she left is mine. The quiet I wake up to, mine. The life I'm building, the kind that doesn't have to be explained, hidden, or compromised, mine. There's peace in realizing that some people don't destroy you, they just uncover the parts of yourself you were neglecting. She taught me something, even if she didn't mean to. She taught me how far I'd go to protect someone else, and how far I'd forgotten to go for myself now. I choose differently. I choose people who show up, who stay when things get messy, who don't need to be chased or convinced. Most of all, choose me. And maybe that sounds selfish, but if loving myself means not making excuses for being disrespected again, then selfish never felt so sacred. To the woman who left with the keys, you didn't just walk out of a house. You walked out of a life, a love, a version of me that truly believed you were forever. I used to replay that moment, your voiceover. The phone, saying you'd sold our beach house, saying you'd left, saying you'd chosen someone else at the time, felt like a punch I'd never recover from, but now I understand something I didn't back then. You didn't take the most valuable thing. You left with property papers. With passwords? With plans we made together. But you didn't leave with me. Not the real me. It's the one who stayed kind even when you weren't. The one who picked up the shattered pieces not to impress you, but to rediscover himself. I hope your new life is everything you wanted truly, because mine. It's free. Free of walking on eggshells. Free of wondering why your eyes stopped meeting mine. Free of shrinking to make you comfortable. If you were expecting to leave me broken, I'm sorry to disappoint you. All you really did was hand me back my own strength. So this is me closing the chapter, not with rage, not with bitterness, but with peace. You walked away with the keys to the old house, but I built a home you'll never be invited into. One filled with truth, with people who don't leave when life gets inconvenient, and with a man who no longer doubts his worth. Goodbye.